what's going on, guys? It's your boy The Real Weep, and we are back for another video. And today we will be looking at JJK chapter 264, leaks and spoilers. And I have all the panels in the translation for you guys. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please hit that like button, subscribe button down below, and leave a comment on the video. It really helps me, and I'm trying to grow this channel slowly and surely. Now let's get into this chapter now. The chapter starts with Yuji punching the ground to imbalance Sukuna's footing as Hana's Jacob ladder attacks and descends on Sukuna. Now, we then head into where Sukuna starts to climb up towards Hana in the midst of getting hit by the Jacob ladder, where he starts to jump on top of the pebbles to avoid the attack. We then see that Sukuna says that unlike the Jacob ladder that he faced last time with Yuta's domain that only targeted him, this Jacob's ladder affects both him, Todo, and Yuji. So, if you were to climb straight up the pillar of light, he can get to Angel without being interfered by anyone. Angel then goes up to Hana and warns Hana to leave, but Sukuna is already behind her and prepares to attack her. Sukuna says the output of Hana's Jacob ladder doesn't have the same level of power that it did last time. He then says, "Before I'm ripped apart from Megumi Fushiguro, Angel, I can reach to your life." Sukuna locks in and punches Black Flash, but Todo intervenes and takes the attack on to save Hana. We then see in the next chapter that Todo is blown away along with Hana, but Sukuna acknowledges that Todo is a superior man and that this man is truly a jujutsu sorcerer, as he is able to withstand the attack and able to just sacrifice himself. And Sukuna then notices that both Hana and Todo are unable to move, so he decides to finish off Angel later, but immediately Yuji then appears out of Jacob's ladder. Sukuna is then surprised to see Yuji chase him even after being hit from the last attack and being burned due to the Jacob's ladder. Yuji then lands a very hard punch right across Sukuna's face, sending him flying, then grabs a hold of both of his legs and smashes him down on top of a building. Just as he appears out of the building, Yuji tries to disrupt Sukuna's footing once again using Shrin's technique, but that does not go according to his plan, as we can see. As we saw, Sukuna punches Yuji away and his remaining arms are then regenerated. The narrator says that after hitting 2 additional black flashes, the King of Curses finally regains his RCT. Sukuna then grabs a hold of Yuji and lands punches on his face and body strikes again and again on Yuji's face with his knee. Sukuna starts to regenerate both of his arms that he'd lost before, and Sukuna then thinks to himself that Yuji's dismantle that targets only the boundary between him and Megumi is fatal for him, but it's useless if Yuji can't even hit him, as he's just getting beaten to the ground by Sukuna over and over again without even landing one punch on Sukuna. But we know our boy Yuji doesn't give up. He gets back up and he tries his best, but Sukuna doesn't let Yuji to use his soul dismantle on him and punches him again. But Yuji then recalls a small flashback to when Gojo was teaching Yuji about domain while fighting Jogo. Gojo said it used a lot of CE but has its own pro. He says first off, it gives off lots of CE, but it gives an additional upgrade to the user stats due to an environment like a buff like in a video game. Now, any curse technique that is applied to a domain always hits the opponent. Yuji then uses the domain expansion on Sukuna, which is the most craziest part of this chapter, as everyone has been hoping that Yuji can use a domain expansion. Everyone was hoping that he can finally get his domain expansion after many chapters. He finally uses his domain expansion on Sukuna. We then see after Yuji uses his domain expansion, Sukuna is at an unknown station and he's currently in Yuji Kuna form. Yuji then approaches him and then he says, "Let's go, Sukuna," as they decide to finally end their battle once and for all by facing one another. We then see at the end of the chapter, the editor's comment at the end says that both of their decisive battle enters an unknown domain. Now, there have been lots of key things about this chapter that I'm gonna just discuss over. First and foremost, we gotta talk about Gojo's influence on Itadori. Clearly, the only way Itadori was able to open up that domain expansion was due to the help of Gojo, by Gojo explaining how the domain worked in the first place, because without Gojo explaining how the domain worked in the first place, Yuji would have never been able to open up that domain. And we also have to go into how Yuji was able to know how to open up the domain with Gojo explaining that constructing a domain uses a ton of cursed energy, but can be worth it. First off, you get an upgrade in stats due to the environment, kind of like a buff in video games, which Gojo has mentioned in previous chapters when he was alive. Then we can also take into consideration Yuji's training with Kusakabe, which then surprised Sukuna, as Sukuna wasn't even prepared for Yuji to open up a domain, which then sends them to a random station. I don't think anyone was able to, suspect this or, foreshadow this, as no one knew that this was gonna happen. Everyone was praying, Yuji, please get a domain expansion, please get a domain expansion. We've been waiting for a domain expansion, and now he's finally able to use a domain expansion. Some other things you gotta like take into consideration is just Yuji's just dedication, bro. Bro was getting clapped. No one thought he was gonna have a chance against Sukuna. Sukuna was literally grabbing and holding Yuji, landing punches on his face and body strikes again and again on Yuji with his knees. But Yuji did not give up whatsoever. This is going crazy, and then we can just see the foreshadowing, with their final battle. I'm gonna guess it's not gonna end next chapter. It's probably gonna take a couple of chapters for their own fight to finish, but it's really gonna go crazy, honestly. Now that Yuji has a domain expansion, we just know that they're at a random station. We don't even know what he has left up his sleeve, but we do know that Sukuna's going crazy too. Like, he just healed all of his injuries. He literally regained all of his arms back. We know that he was going crazy at then, so we can't really count him off. But it's Yuji against, you know Sukuna. Let's see what happens. Some people are also suspecting that Megumi is also gonna make his return soon, as we haven't seen him in quite a while. Many have suspected it was gonna happen in this chapter, but I guess we have to see sooner or later. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and that was my spoiler and coverage over the whole chapter 264. If you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button down below and leave a comment down below of what you guys think is going to happen in the next couple of chapters, and what you guys think about this whole chapter as a whole. I will be covering JJK content every single time a new chapter releases, in case something happens, leak spoilers and everything. I'll go over the chapter overview once the actual chapter releases. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.